Hello and welcome to video number 5 of the series Introduction to Google AdWords. In this part you will learn how to write effective text ads for the Google AdWords search network. My name is Philipp Sekurik from semgermany.com in Berlin, and here is the overview of the topics we are going to cover in this video. First we will have a look at the basic elements or components of a Google AdWords text ad and how it may eventually appear on Google's search engine results page. Then you will learn what you can do in order to write good ad copy that attracts the right people to your website, and because there are also some things that can cause your ads to be rejected or even your whole account being suspended if you do them too excessively, I will also point out to a couple of important rules and guidelines, things to avoid when writing your ads. So let's have a look at the components of a text ad. Here is an example ad as it may appear on a search results page. It consists of the title, buy sneakers at Acme Shoe, which is at the same time also the link a user can click on, the display URL www.acmeshoe.com/sneakers, and two description lines, description line number 1 and description line number 2, free shipping and overnight delivery, save up to 75% on special sales. This is what a typical text ad looks like. Now, the challenge is when writing these ads that the amount of space you have for each element is actually very limited. For the title, it's a maximum of 25 characters, for the display URL, it's 35 characters, and for both description lines, it's also a maximum of 35 characters each. So the art of writing good text ads is to learn how to be as convincing and at the same time put as much relevant information about your product or service as possible within an extremely limited amount of space. Don't worry though if you say, wow, my URL is actually much longer than 35 characters, because you want to send your visitors to a subpage or a subcategory of your website, or because you're using tracking code within your URLs. In fact, the display URL is only what people will see as part of your ad and doesn't necessarily have to be the final URL. That could be much longer in reality. Just keep in mind that up to your top level domain, in this case it would be acmeshoe.com, your display URL has to reflect the actual domain where people arrive once they clicked on your link. So you can't send them or redirect them to a completely different website, but you could, for example, leave out the www if you want, or even use the amount of space you have in order to add your most important keyword, in this case /sneakers, and this way send a strong signal to your visitors what your website is about, even if that exact folder doesn't exist on your server. So how can you make best use of that little amount of ad space and write good text ads that help you attract the right people to your website and convert them into customers? My first advice for good ad copy is to highlight what makes you stand out from your competition. What's your unique value proposition that makes your offer special? Whether that may be especially low prices, a fast delivery, a special service or customer satisfaction guarantee, don't make it a secret and tell your visitors why they should come to your website. Be careful though if you want to use any superlatives or promotional claims such as the best or top number 1 or faster than, better than, etc. if it's not supported by any third party. For instance, if you wanted to publish an ad that says the number 1 project management tool for small businesses, you must have proof on your website coming from a third party that confirms your company is really the leading number 1 company in that field for a verification. Also, it's important to be as relevant and specific as possible. Usually, your customers will be searching for something very particular, so when they read an ad that's too general, it's hard for them to decide if they should click on it or not. On the other hand, also, when your ad doesn't communicate clearly enough what you offer, then people might click on it even though they were searching for something totally different. So you end up spending money for visitors that are unlikely to convert into real customers. One of the best ways to increase the relevance of your ads is to mention your keywords or the most important keyword of your ad group in your title and possibly also within your description and display URL. And when you do that, you will get a very positive effect from it because people will not only be able to find that word they were just searching for within your ad, but Google will also highlight that word in bold letters, which helps to attract even more attention to it. Another thing you can do is to include any details about your prices or promotions. I know in some cases it won't be possible depending on the type of business, but if you can mention a price, it will be an important detail for your potential customers that helps them distinguish if your offer is interesting to them or not. For example, if you have an ad that says designer sunglasses starting from only $99, then people who are looking for sunglasses within that price range will be immediately interested, but at the same time also it prevents people from clicking on your ad who are searching for lower priced sunglasses. And finally, what you should do is to make a clear call to action part of your ad. That is something that tells your visitors what they can do as the next step on your website. What can they expect after they clicked on your link? What do you want them to do? For instance, you could say something like, call us today, or get a free quote, or download a free demo, or something like that. The benefit you will get from such a call to action is that people who click on your ad will arrive on your website in a state of mind where they're already prepared for what's next, and often they will click on your ad in order to perform that action. For example, when someone reads download a free demo and clicks on your link, then it's probably because this person wants to actually download your demo version. And this way, a clear call to action increases also your conversion rates. Now there are a couple of more advanced techniques, for example ad extensions, that allow you to show extra information with your ad, such as a physical address or store rating. But if you keep in mind the things I've mentioned so far, you will already be able to create highly effective ads. What's more important for you to know, at least in the beginning, is that there are actually a couple of rules and guidelines that serve as quality standards, and that can have a negative effect if you violate them, starting from just single ads being rejected up to the extent where your whole account gets banned from the system. So what you want to avoid is publishing ads that have absolutely nothing to do with your landing page. For example, your ad promotes hotel reservations and on your landing page you sell coffee machines. What you're promoting in your ad must be correlating to the content of your website. And that point maybe sounds obvious, but in some cases, especially when you're working with a function called dynamic keyword insertion and large keyword lists, it can happen even if you don't do it on purpose. Another mistake you also want to avoid is wrong spelling or wrong grammar. So check your ads for typos before publishing. What's accepted though is when a common word that's misspelled is part of a brand name, like shoes with a Z at the end, for instance. The same also applies to the next point, excessive use of capitalizations, symbols, numbers, repetitions, and so on. That simply means you're not supposed to write the whole ad in capital letters, or also just single words as, for example, today, now, etc. with all letters capitalized. That's not allowed. Just write all words out as you would normally do, as you would also find them in a dictionary, and you won't encounter any problems. What's okay is when you're using capital letters for common abbreviations like ASAP, for example. This will be accepted. And the last one that needs to be mentioned when it comes to writing your call to action, avoid phrases such as click here. Google doesn't like if you actively ask the user to click on an ad. So if you do that, your ad most probably will be rejected. And the same thing also happens when your whole ad is written too generic, like click here to buy products, and you're not telling what kind of products you're selling. Then it's too generic. Your ad should always be clear and specific enough and provide enough information so that a potential visitor understands what to expect behind that link. One last thing, keep in mind that your text ad will be part of a search results page. Your ad shows up because someone was typing a keyword into Google's search bar and now tries to find the most useful answer. So if you make your ad actually relevant and useful, it will become highly effective and will help the right people find your business. So thank you for watching this video. I'd like to hear from you. What are your recommendations for writing good text ads? If you want to share your experience or have any questions or comments, please use the comment section when you're watching on YouTube or visit the website for more information at www.semgermany.com. SEM Germany specializes in Google AdWords campaigns for the German-speaking market. So if you want to run Google AdWords campaigns in countries such as Germany, Austria or Switzerland and are looking for a native-speaking and certified Google AdWords professional, let's get in touch at semgermany.com. Thank you and see you in the next video.